Well, I said that I felt that Yolanda had been traumatized by some experiences.
Oh, from the article?
But yeah, I felt like from reading the article that
am I still traumatized?
I don't know, and they would have to tell me more because I was walking back and forth.
I know I was traumatized by a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
And I didn't have the experience of having to be bused. But I know I went to, started at a black college. My mother thought I needed the experience where I could get to be queen, I could be cheerleader, I could be, you know, whatever. And I'd never been so discriminated against in my life.
Amen.
And I thought it was, was horrible. What was they called?
What was it? Because you were too black or too brown or too?
No, it was just
your hair was too nappy. Picket line and doing those. And my mother tell you, I mean, there were times when my knees were trembling. I was scared, but I was with her. And as long as I was with my mother, I felt like I was safe. I remember the first time we were in Louisiana. We were sitting in church and this lady slammed her pew up and went down to the front of the church because she didn't want to sit next to us when we came into the pew. She's in church. And my father, you know, he was just so upset. See, this is what I'm talking about. All these hypocrites in church, I'm going to sit in the car and I'll wait on y'all till you get done. I'm thinking, hey, we're getting out of here. And I don't have to be bothered with this because I was trembling. And we got up and my mother started going this way towards the front of the church instead of this way out of the church. And I said, where are we going? She says, we're going and sitting on the front row. And if that people wants to sit in front of us, she's going to have to sit on the altar because we're going to the front row. Right now to this day, when I go to group affairs, church, when I was in college and I went to University of Houston, predominantly white college, anytime anybody's looking for me, it's not going to be hard. I'm going to be within the first 3 rows. And I never thought about that until just recently, like a few years ago, that probably came from the fact that my mother said,
that is a gift. Most of us have, maybe not, but I can remember. And I don't remember when I was a little girl saying, niggas ain't shit. Okay, hello. Now I'm thinking when I'm saying niggas, I'm talking about black people. What?
Niggas come in all colors too.
Yeah, okay, now I understand that now. But I was a child. So I'm saying, this is from where she's coming from, this article saying niggas ain't shit, not really even realizing things that I'm talking about myself, all right? So I don't think there may be some, maybe y'all are different, but I think that at some point in time in all of our lives, in most of our lives.
We're talking trauma. It was interesting that you said that about trauma because I think we are all in a state of post-traumatic slavery syndrome. A sister who is a psychologist came up with that term, post-traumatic slavery disorder, and that we are all suffering from that, and that's what causes these discussions to be needed. I mean, I think it's interesting as everyone is sharing their stories about how they grew up. I mostly grew up in a white neighborhood in Richardson. My mother thought the best in terms of crime and I guess schooling and that kind of thing.
It was the only house that they would give me. To get a house in Oakland, they would not pay the loan. I went to Richardson, they said,
oh, well.
you can have this house. I said, you're joking. I sent her back to the community, to the hood.
All right, there we go. And I had that. I never knew that my black skin was ugly or that my hair should have been permed because my mother never allowed me to perm my hair. And I always wore it in braids or, well, not like this, or straighten it. I didn't get to do any blow dry or anything. Okay. And so I went into a black school and was told all these horrible things about you. Oh, you're ugly and well, you're kind of cute. Well, you kind of got good hair. So, and it was just a really horrible experience for me. So I know both sides, and it was interesting because I went back to the neighborhood school in the 6th grade with white folk, and it was almost comforting because I was black. It didn't matter what color, how black or how light or what my hair was. I was black, and I knew kind of how to deal with that. I wasn't constantly told, oh, well, you're ugly because you got this kind of hair or whatever. So I understand that, and I understand, you know, a lot of the stories, or I can understand a lot of the stories that people are sharing. But what concerns me about the conversation, which I think is very important, is that I feel like we're talking about symptoms, and we're not talking about the root of the problem, the root of what is going on, the root of why we need to have these kind of discussions. because it is trauma. We've all been traumatized. And while some of us may say, well, I just don't want to be black anymore, or some of us may, you know, it may manifest itself in different ways, it's important for us to talk about the fact that it's so beautiful to be black.